All right, what's going on? What's happening, everybody? Thank you for tuning in. This is another beautiful Saturday. I don't know what we're dealing with right now. Let me check for you guys. Let's see. Mostly cloudy, but that's okay. 80 degrees here on the East Coast, New York area. So we're good. We are golden. And as you can see, I got the morning cup of soda because I didn't want to make coffee, but I need a little caffeine. Even though I'm trying not to drink soda, but you know, I got those little joints. All right. Well, it is what it is. First off, shout out to the chat. Appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for your patience. Those who may have tuned in early or stayed by and wait while the show was getting ready. Shout out to Walter Blackman. What's good? Appreciate you as always. I hope you're doing well today. Wishing you the best, my brother. JJ's in the building. Salute to you, my brother, my fellow Met fan, or as I think I saw IKM Dre said New York mess. Yeah, it's a lot going on. Shout out to Lion of Judah. What's good? Shalom, my brother. Happy Sabbath to you as well. Hope everything is good on your end. Family is good. And wishing you the best, my brother. David L is in the building. Salute. These player extensions are brutal. Yeah, might be right. What's good, bro? Hope you're doing well. Shout out to Louisiana Knicks. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, shout out to Dripmore. That's right, the preferred barber of still Knicks fans and the Knicks community. Let's go. Appreciate you, man. And you know, Dripmore says, salute still Knicks fans. My son graduates college today, USF. Let's go. 3 more children to go. Oh, man. Congratulations to you and congratulations to the whole family and especially to your son for getting that done, man. On to bigger and better things, man. Not like you said, you got 3 more to go. So good luck getting all that situated and straight, but I'm definitely happy for you. Shout out to Danny Landis. What's good? Appreciate you. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope your son is doing well. Hope basketball is treating him right. Knicks a nice CAA affiliate. Pudge is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you, Pudge. Gideon Amankwa. G Money is in the building. Salute, G Money. Felicia Lee is here. Salute, Felicia. How you doing? How's everything? I hope you are doing well. Always good to see you. Good morning as well to you. Thank you for the generous super chat, Walter. Appreciate you. Like I said, I say to you all the time, it's not necessary, but I appreciate you supporting the show. Thank you. As always, man. Alan Alford is in the building. Yeah, he says, Dripmore, congrats. I'm in Clearwater, Florida. Yeah. All right. Beautiful thing, man. A beautiful thing. Watching these kids grow and hopefully turn their lives into something special. But it's just a shame, you know, once they get to that point, they're not kids, little babies anymore. Like they're all grown. It's different. All right. So let me see. Drop that down. Boom. Okay. So yeah, you know, there's a lot of different talk going around because, you know, this is the off season and the Knicks are either practicing and training for the FIBA World Cup or they're just practicing and working out with their trainers, doing their social event rounds and, you know, making their pilgrimages around the the United States at different events. And so there's a lot of, you know, conversations happening, sound bites and media happening from certain Knick players. RJ did an interview recently. Julius Randle has done an interview recently. So, you know, it is what it is, man. We just got to make the best of it. But before you know it, the NBA season is right around the corner. Training camp is very close. I guess they're already technically, the training and stuff with their facilities is ramping up. So soon there'll be a actual training camp announced. So time is flying. And the FIBA World Cup is only about a month anyway. I think maybe it's less than a month. No, yeah, I think maybe it is about a month. I think it's 3 weeks for the regular season, right? And then the fourth week is the playoffs. So yeah, it's pretty quick. That'll be over before you know it. Alan Alford says, "Greetings, my brother. Hope all is well with you. Another day on the ledge. Let's do it. Yes, let's go. Let's go." JJ says, "Boring off season. Yeah, it hasn't been that exciting. Although the Donovan Mitchell news has resurfaced once again. I'm just like, at this point, I don't care. What if they do it, they do it. If they don't, they don't. It is what it is." Thank you, Walter. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much, man. You're definitely a good dude, and you've always been since we started this show. You've been once you found us, you've been supporting us from since that day. So I definitely appreciate you, brother. Nixon Pudge says Team USA is looking great. Yeah. Listen, I remember in the beginning when they were starting to put the teams together, I was kind of worried about Canada. Canada's got a good team. Don't get me wrong. I think Team USA's team is better top to bottom. So, they just need to play basketball the right way, and they should be able to get this one again. We'll see. We got some good pieces, I think. Pudge says Grimes stood up for Randle. Yeah, well, listen, that's one of those things I'm not surprised at because these players like Randle. Sometimes we've been upset or he acted a certain way with some of the players in the past, not last year, but the year before. I know people want to point to the Quickly thing last year, but it was just a bad circumstance. He was hot. Quickly was trying to step in and calm him down. It just wasn't a great circumstance, and it didn't look good, but it was a part of basketball. You know what I mean? It's like they can chalk that up. There was a moment and they can move on. But as far as him throughout the season, I think he was a much better teammate, and I think they all respect him. So I'm not surprised to hear the guys on the team stick up for him at different moments. JJ says he's hoping Grimes gains experience and wisdom practicing with Team USA. I'm with you there. I agree. Jay from PR is in the building. Salute. What's going on, brother? He said Mets fans have turned to pillow fighting for entertainment. Yeah, well, listen, Yankee fans are right there with us. I just say. Yeah, it's been rough. Jalen Brunson is on the B team. Yeah, look, they got a good squad with a lot of players. Jalen Brunson is just going to get in where he fits in. He's going to play his role. If they need him to do more, he'll do more. But he's that type of guy. So I really respect him. Yeah. David L says all our players save room. Julius Randle is the leader, and fans say it's JB. He laughs. I do think it's going to be JB this year. I think what you saw in the past, I think now you're going to see that it's going to be JB's team. But I agree that it was Julius's squad in the past, and he tried to lead by example. But I hear you though. Look, I don't care. I hope they're both leaders, leader 1 and leader 2. I don't care. Whatever makes the Knicks better. Alan Alford says my beef Hart at power forward is taking him away from his strengths. Hart is one of the best boarding at guard. So getting those rebounds, people. RJ is best when he's overpowering his man. Why not Jericho? Who should promise who showed promise when Obi was out. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said before, I think Tibbs has Obi Jericho in his doghouse for whatever reason. I don't know what that's about, but hey, it is what it is. We can hope for the best, man. Hope Jericho has a special year where he opens up a lot of Knicks fans' eyes and opens up Tibbs' eyes to what he can really do. We'll see. Don't hold your breath, though. Free Sims. Shout out to David L. That's funny. Travel Vibes is in the building. Salute. What's good? Peace to the family as well. Peace to your family. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah. So, speaking of what the Knicks may or may not do, because we have no clue. Let's see. Where is my? Here we go. So the New York Knicks. All right, let me do this. Let me hit the intro first, and I'll come back and break this down because, I feel a certain way about these Knicks moves when it comes to this stuff. We'll talk about it because I don't want to be the the Debbie Downer of this, but the Knicks always do this, and then we don't even see the guys on the team. I mean, whatever. I don't know. let's see. Let's hit the intro. We'll come back and get into these Exhibit 10 contracts. I don't. What does it all mean, folks? I don't know. I'm back. Like I never left. Okay. Shout out to Ken in the building. Salute. Appreciate you. He says Yankees been in first place for over 30 years. They straight. Okay, whatever. Whatever. We see what you like. We see where your allegiance lies. Nah, but and on the real, Yankees are in a bad place. Mets are in a bad place too, but I think the Mets might be able to get out of it quicker than the Yanks. I could be wrong. I don't know, but I think the Yankees are in a bad place because they got a lot of money committed to players too, and they got some aging guys on the team. And I don't know. They haven't really retooled. This is from other Yankee fans, so don't look at me. They haven't really retooled their farm system, so they got some work to do there. So when you have that type of situation, right, and your team is struggling, your team is in a really tough division, Yankees could struggle for quite some time. That's all I'm saying. And chalk it up to the Yanks being in the toughest division in baseball. Say that, but it is what it is. They are. So if they were in the East, on the National League East, would they fare better? Yeah. Would you be looking at them like, they could definitely always be in contention no matter what? Probably. But they're in the American League East, and that East, that side is rough. So, just saying. And look, let's look. Both teams have gone up and down. Mets have struggled for quite some time. Yankees back in the what do you call that? In the 80s, you know what I mean? Mets had their run. Then in the early 90s, Yankees wasn't really hitting like that. But then the mid 90s, they started to turn it up, and then it got crazy, right? So listen, it happens. It goes in cycles. And but it just sucks that both New York teams are struggling so bad. That's not cool. All right. So anyway, let's get into these Exhibit 10 contracts. So the Mets. See, now you got the Mets on my mind. The Knicks have signed two players to Exhibit 10 contracts. Most recently, Obadiah Noel was signed to an Exhibit 10 contract. He's apparently a G League standout, right? Let's see. He averaged 10.6 points on 48.7% shooting from the field, 37.7% from three-point range for the Westchester Knicks last season. I mean, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy because this guy deserves a shot. He's a young player. And if I was him, I'd want people talking favorably about me too. I have done nothing wrong. But I don't know if 10.6 points per game is standout in the G League. You know what I mean? 48.7% shooting is good. The 37.7% from three-point range is good. But I just think if you're going to be a standout, you would think you'd be doing more than 10.6 points. So that's all I'm getting at. The wording is interesting. And you know how I feel. If you don't know how I feel about these Exhibit 10 contracts and stuff, I don't know. The Knicks do this stuff all the time. They sign these guys, and the next thing you know, they don't even make the team, or you don't see them anywhere. Now, apparently, you know, Obadiah is already rocking with us, so he's going to be in the G League, and you know, whatever. This is just a way to pay guys, you know, a little bit more money. I'm not mad at it, so that's cool. Yeah, last season for Westchester, he averaged 10.6 points, 2.9 rebounds, 2.1 assists. I mean, that's pretty good. Like I said, it's not bad, but for the G League, I don't necessarily know if I could call that a standout. But it could be. I don't know how many minutes he played, and so maybe he didn't play a lot of minutes. Doesn't say here. So because there was somebody on the G League team, and I can't remember off the top of my head right now, that was getting busy. He had moments last year because I kept seeing him in the highlight in the box score. Like, oh wow, but it wasn't this young man Obadiah Noel. It was someone else. All right, so I mean, you know, happy for him. Like I said, I don't know what the Knicks do with these signings, but it is what it is. Keith Turner is in the building. Salute. What's good? Hope you're doing well, brother. All right. So then, anyway, the next up on the list is how do I say this guy's name? Dmitrio Skapintsev. Dmitrio Skapintsev. That's what I want to say. I'm sure they got some interesting nickname for him. They probably call him Scap or something. He got signed to a Exhibit 10 contract as well. We did talk about him a little bit on the show, and he looked not really, but he looked pretty good in the summer league. He's the 25-year-old, 7'1", 215-pound center that was on the summer league team. He averaged 7.4 points, 6.6 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.8 blocks over 17 minutes of play in Las Vegas. So, yeah, shout out to him, and hopefully, you know, that's good. They'll sign him to that Exhibit 10 contract so he can play with the G League squad, and the Knicks, you know, have his rights, I guess, so they can sign him to the big club if they would like to. Yeah, and go from there. So, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. That's what they've done so far. I mean, it matters because they got to do it, right? And they need to fill out that G League squad. and also have some type of contingency plan just in case there's a rash of injuries or some crazy outbreak of something. You know what I mean? You got to have players. So, but I don't know what I wanted to tell everybody what the minimum salary is, but let me see. Do I have that somewhere? It just says the exhibit 10 contracts are 1-year deals with worth the minimum salary. It could be as much, well, for 2023 to 24, it could be as much as $75K. I mean, it's not a lot of money for these type of players, but it's a pretty good amount of money for a regular person. So, you know, it shows that at least the Knicks looked at these two players and felt like they did something extra and they deserved a little bit more money, and it's a stepping stone to possibly, allow them to get signed by the big club if needed in the future, or maybe they get signed by some other team if they keep doing what they've been doing in the G League. So good for both those two guys. Shout out to A Train. What's good? Salute, my brother. He says, salute to all. If that's standout, what is the baseline? That's what I'm saying, because I don't know how that's a standout. The efficiency is maybe standout, right? The shooting 48% or 40+% from I think it was 48 from the field is respectable. Let me see, what was it again? 48% from the field. That's respectable. That's standout-ish for efficiency, and 38% from three is very efficient. But just the actual numbers, I don't see the standout part of that. But like I said, it's about wording, and these teams do that. When they talk up the organization's players, they always like to give it a nice positive spin. So David L says he's a solid big we keep in for our G League. He's talking about Scap. That's Dimitro. Shoot, let me try that one more time. Dimitro Scapit. Scapetsnev. That's a rough one, guys. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to call him Scap. So yeah. Shout out to Sherwin. What's good? Appreciate you. He says, good afternoon. I am constantly searching for a good wing who can help with the ball handling responsibility for the Knicks. OG is not capable of doing that. I can agree with you. That's not his strong suit. So if that's a reason why you don't like him, understandable. The defense part of it makes him look attractive to us. But if you're looking for a guy who can play defense, shoot the three, and handle the rock, he's not that guy. Shout out to Mega NYK. What's good, Comega? Appreciate you. Hope you're doing well, my brother. He says, what's good, MBK fam? He says, salute and good afternoon to my guy, Ron, and the chat. Appreciate you as always, brother. Alan Alford says, we need a trade to balance this roster. Is paying quickly big dollars smart? A lot G need G League need wait, hold on. Oh, I got it. A lot of guard need minutes. Yeah, I got you. Sorry about that. Jalen will eat the point guard minutes. I'm afraid that Tibbs will kill Jalen with his playing style. Well, you definitely have a right to be concerned. I think the Knicks are going to have to make a trade at some point. But when, I don't know. And why, I don't know. But I think they will. You're right. We have a cluster of guards, and at some point, there's not going to be enough minutes to go around. But the other thing is, I think the Knicks also are on that point where they're trying to go all in, but they also want the cream to rise to the top. So they know that there's going to be a little bit of minutes around, for people to share. And they want people to fight for those minutes. They want the best players to stand up and show that they deserve the minutes. so that they can make a trade or move on from other guys who don't step up. It's not a horrible idea. It's not a horrible idea because there's just too many guys. How do you play 5 or 6 guys? It's a 40-minute game. That's tough. Animal Lex is in the building. Salute. What's good? Hope you're doing well. Knicks Nation 112, where the players dwell. Good day. Salute to you, my brother. Hope you're doing well. And, the family, everybody's doing great. Let's see. Sherwin says, I was watching some games with Trey Rayford Young. It's Rayford Trey Young, actually. I didn't know he plays a lot of shooting guard. The man is now what? Did you add a 0 there? The man is now 6'1" shooting guard, small forward with ball handling skills, and is one of the better shooters in the NBA. Yeah, all right. I mean, listen, there's never been an issue about Trey Young and his talent. I think the only issue about him was the fact that he's not a great defender. Is he even a good defender? I don't know. But he's not really a great defender. And he's, got smaller in size. And he holds the ball. Like, he has a ton of ball usage. That's really all it was. But, I mean, we know he's a baller. So, yeah, I mean, I hear you, though. They move him around. Jay from PR says these $60 million contracts are going to make trades tough. You ain't lying. This is why see, Jay, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I say that the issue that I have with the Knicks sometimes is I think it's smart to not just jump at the first opportunity and just make a rash trade. But sometimes you can wait too long. They know what's going on with the CBA, right? They know about these contracts and the money that's happening and people starting to get the bump. As soon as Jaylen Brown got that bump, all the contracts are going to start to tick up, So at this point, you got to think to yourself, if I need to make a trade, it's going to be that much harder for me. So how long do I want to wait? Now, fortunately, maybe the people that the Knicks are willing to trade for, maybe they're not getting contract extensions right now. Maybe they're already locked into their contract. So that these $60 million deals maybe they won't affect them right now. But going forward, it will, especially when we get into the next offseason and guys start to get their new deals. That's going to be an issue. And I tell you, the more and more this money goes up, it's going to raise the bar for all contracts. And if you guys think we're going to get quickly on the cheap on a homeboy discount, I'm not so sure. So just keep that in mind. The Knicks might have to pay quickly some good bread, or you let them walk away. How do you guys feel about that? Like, those are the choices. But all these contracts being elevated makes his salary expectations go up as well. Knicks Nation says, what if we would have traded Obi last summer to the Pistons instead of giving them our first pick, Durant? The young center looks like a young Amari and David Robinson at the same time. Durant looks like the one. Yeah, look, if we could have done that, I definitely would have done that. That would have been great. I don't know if the Pistons would have wanted Obi, though. Because you got to understand, if they take Obi, what position is Obi playing, right? They already had 2 guys that played that position for them, even though they were undersized. And then they brought in Bojan Bogdanovic, Yeah, I don't think Obi was going to play over Bogdanovich. So it's a. I mean, they could have used him, but Duran is a starting center for them. So they probably would have wanted him more with his potential and at his position. But if they could have swung that, yeah, I would have been happy with that. Knick fans would have been upset, but I think they would have been happy knowing that Duran would have been coming back. And if we still could have been able to do what we did and free up that money to get Jalen Brunson, and it worked out that way, then yeah, that would have been great. So Keith Turner believes, wait, hold on. David L says they're going to be stuck with big deals. Those teams will regret it. That's probably true. Keith Turner says that's why they will make a trade and then re-sign IQ. I could see that. It makes sense. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like, what? Because that didn't seem right to me at all. Oh, he meant Trey. Trey Murphy. Oh, well, that changes everything I just said. That's that's different. Yeah, Trey Murphy's great. I would love Trey Murphy on this team, but New Orleans ain't letting him go. I mean, as much as we see how good the guy could be and he has all this potential, why would New Orleans want to let him go? Ask yourself that. Why would they even want to trade him? Like, I know you guys have played video games in the past and have come up with your own trade scenarios and stuff. And while you're playing those games, doesn't it ever come to a point where the computer sends you a trade? Do you take the trade because the computer sent it to you? No. If it don't look right to you, if you don't want to trade a certain player, you just reject it. Just like in fantasy sports, I play a lot of fantasy sports. I get offered trades all the time. And there's some trades that I get offered, like, somebody wants Pete Alonso. I'm not giving you Pete Alonso. I'm a Met fan, and he's one of the best players on the Mets, and I like him. So I'm not going to trade him. I don't care. That's just me. Sometimes you just get a guy that you just don't want to trade. And I don't see a young guy like Trey Murphy who has all this potential offensively and is already showing he's a good defender. He's got the size that you expect and want from that position. And he's young and he's on his rookie contract. Nah, I don't see them trading him. So, and believe me, I like Trey Murphy, but I just don't see it, man. Exactly, Sherwin. Thank you. I know he's not 6'10". That's why I thought maybe you added a 0 because you did say Trae Young, and I believe Trae Young is 6'1" or he's 6 feet. I don't know. Anyway, Alan says, come on, OG Anunoby shoots 40% from the corners, was first in steals, top 3 in deflections. He's perfect and would be a perfect blend with Julius and JB as his O game opens the lanes, and he's righty. I see what you did there. I mean, Alan, I agree. I like OG, and I think the Knicks should make a trade for OG. But I also understand what Sherwin's saying. This Knicks team doesn't have great ball handlers. They don't create a lot of ball movement because they don't have the right type of players to have those type of skill sets that can do that on the team. And because of that, that's part of the reason why they don't have the same type of offensive efficiency and movement, creating easy options for them that other teams have, because other teams got players that move the ball. They understand how to play make, and we struggle at that. So I see where Sherwin's going, but I also see what you're saying, Alan, because I do like OG Anunoby as well. But he does not, in fairness to what Sherwin was saying, he does not have that ball handling, high grade that you would look for, and he's not a playmaker type. So that's fair. Bricks Nation is in the building. Salute. What's good? I hope you're doing well, and life is treating you good, my brother. But all the other thing is, if that's true, Trey Murphy is now 6'10". That's crazy. This dude's sprouting, man. That's nuts. Shop Powers is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you as always. Definitely check out Knicks Real Talk with Shop Powers and Divine on YouTube. Whenever you guys get a chance, man, show some love and support to that show. Them brothers know how to entertain and keep us all in a positive mindset about this Knicks team. And what better to have a show like that, especially during this boring off season. So yeah, man, shout out to these guys. Appreciate you guys as always. Let me check something, see if there's an update. Okay, that is great news. Fantastic. I was just about to, I'm still going to say it. So, and this is just a message to my fellow content creators out there, my fellow YouTubers and stuff, or any type of content, because I guess it could happen anywhere. The Nick of Time show with my man Jay Ellis has been doing it for a long time, man. One of the pioneers of this thing, I like to say. And I really appreciate him and appreciate his show. If you guys don't know, his YouTube account, well, actually all his social media was hacked. And so not only did they hack his social media, they took over the YouTube account and he had no access to the Nick of Time show. But thankfully, he was going back and forth with YouTube, and he just told me right now that as of, either today or yesterday, whatever, they got it worked out. They got it fixed. He now has control of the Nick of Time show again, and he can get back to doing what he does. So shout out to him. But it's just a message to all you guys who are doing content. Make sure that you have a strong password. Make sure, if you can, do the 2-part authentication. And I don't know what else you can do, but other than that, I think that's pretty much it. But just don't have an easy password and not do the 2-part authentication. You know what I mean? So maybe that helps. But I'm glad he got his channel back. But just everybody who's, like I said, is a content creator, keep that in mind. And always go take a look at what's going on. If you see some suspicious stuff, maybe report it. If you get a lot of bots happening or certain people jumping into your chats that look like they're trying to do you some harm by always saying negative comments, maybe you want to flag them to YouTube, because you never know what their intentions are. All right. Let's see. David says, also, our defensive scheme is different. Tibbs gambles on perimeter and clamps paint with hacking and everything, leading us into NBA paint defense. OG not a power forward as well. So, okay. All right. I see what you're saying. Bricks Nation says these albatross contracts are proof that the NBA is ripping their fans way off. The NBA is making a lot of money, man. Knicks Nation 112 says, I would trade IQ not because he is not a good player. I believe his role now with JB and Donnie DiVincenzo makes him expendable for $20 million per year. That's a good point. Honestly, if IQ, I think, is 6'3", maybe 6'4", but I think he's 6'3", and I think Quentin Grimes is 6'4". If both of those players were taller, or one of them was taller, I think the Knicks would find a way to keep both, no matter what. Like if, say, Grimes was 6'6" and IQ 6'3", I think they would find a way to make both those guys work. But the fact that they're both similar in size, and they're not similar in skill sets, but they play similar positions, I think one of them is going to have to go. I don't see how you keep both of them. It's a shame, but the NBA is a business and they got to pay these guys a lot of money. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars after you've already given other players millions and millions of dollars. So there's not enough money to go all around. And the other thing is, you're willing to pay that type of money when you got guys that are bona fide. Like, that's, this guy's established already. He deserves the money. You can't say that about Grimes yet. And you can't say that about Quickly yet. Both of those guys may reach those, levels, but right now you can't say that about either one of them. So it's kind of hard to justify paying both of them, big money. And then it's unfair to them as players who are trying to build their NBA careers and support themselves. And if they have families and whatever, they want their money and they're worth a certain amount, but they just may not be worth it to the Knicks. Maybe some other team can pay them that type of money. that can afford to. So that's gonna be a tough decision. I'm not gonna love that one. Hey, speaking of the guy, what's good, Jay Ellis? Appreciate you, brother. I'm definitely happy for you. I'm glad you were able to get, everything back up and running for your channel, man, because that's a shame. So shout out to you. Let's go. Yes. Big applause for Jay Ellis and the Nick of Time show. Shout out to my guys, Ryan and also Lee. Appreciate everything you guys do over there. Wow. Okay. Well, that explains that. Okay. As I scroll down, I'll get to it in a minute because Jay Ellis just gave a little bit more insight into what happened over there anyway. That's crazy, man. He said they got through the 2-part authentication as well. Damn. Like, I don't know what, I mean, as content creators, what can we really do? We got no protection. So in essence, if it happens to you, hopefully you can get it back. I guess that's all that basically I'm getting from this, because I've seen this happen to other YouTubers who don't do sports content, that may do prank stuff or whatever. I've seen their channels get hacked, and it's crazy because those people had like 300,000 subscribers and they had put up tons and tons of videos, and that was their lifeline. A lot of us have day jobs, you know what I mean? That was their lifeline. To get your channel hacked, I can't, and they got families too. Whew, can't imagine. It's crazy. All right. Alan says, would you trade Jalen Brunson in a deal for Embiid, as the Philly connection would be attractive to Philly if we go all in and get Spider Mitchell at the same time, Embiid, Spider, Julius? My answer would be no. So here's the thing, Alan, and shout out to you, brother. And it's not, if this had been like years ago, then maybe my answer would be yes. But I've seen Philadelphia. I've seen Embiid in those teams and what they've done and not done. And I can tell you, the only reason I would even want the Knicks to go after Embiid is because Jalen Brunson is here. Because Jalen Brunson, to me, is what Embiid needs for his team to be successful. That's what I think Embiid is missing. And it's not just him by himself, but him he's a integral part, because he's the type of player can go get it. He's got moxie, he's got heart, he's a dog. And even though he's not a great defender, he is a big time player. He may not always hit the clutch shot, but he's ready for the clutch moment. And he also plays fearlessly. Like, he gives you that, if you don't do it, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? Like, he gives me something that Harden doesn't show me. I think Harden is just not that type of guy anymore. I don't know if he's ever been that guy. When he was younger and the man on his team, maybe he was, but I don't think he's that guy anymore. But Brunson is to me right now. So I think if you bring Embiid here and trade Brunson, and then you're stuck with Julius, who hasn't really shown, not a knock on him, but it's the truth. He hasn't really shown that he can step up in the playoffs as of yet. Then you got Spider Mitchell. We know what happens to him in the playoffs, even though I want him here. But once again, the reason why I want Donovan Mitchell here is because we got Jalen Brunson, because I've seen Jalen Brunson get busy in the playoffs. I've seen Jalen Brunson dismantle Spider in the playoffs. So he's the answer. Jalen Brunson is the answer for making these guys fit and work with this team. So if you trade even if you was to trade Donovan Mitchell for Jalen Brunson, why would you do that? But if you was, it wouldn't work to me. Jalen Brunson has to be here. He's the piece that is missing from what these guys had going on. You know what I mean? When Donovan Mitchell goes quiet in the playoffs, or his game doesn't go to the next level where you'd like it to go, Jalen Brunson is the guy to fill in that spot, that void. When Joel Embiid can't do everything by himself and he's looking for help from someone else, and that person needs to step up, and no matter what the situation, Jalen Brunson fills that void. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jalen Brunson is the key to these type of guys, getting them here and getting the best out of them and helping the Knicks win. So you can't trade Jalen Brunson for either of those type of guys, because you need Jalen Brunson to play with them, in my opinion, just from what I've seen. And so Keith Turner says, so you trade your best asset in IQ for basically pennies on the dollar, and he's on a rookie contract. I swear some Knicks fans make no sense. Well, I'm not saying me personally. I don't know who you may be speaking of. I don't know if they should trade IQ or they should trade Grimes, but one of them is probably going to have to go. That's all I'm saying. Now, the other thing is IQ's value might price him out of the Knicks comfort level, because if IQ's price point goes up to 100 million, I don't know if the Knicks want to hit that mark. Just saying, if it's 80, maybe, but if it goes up to 100, I don't know if the Knicks are going to be willing to give IQ $100 million. And it could do that. It could go up to that. The way these contracts are going now, we've got our first $300 million man in Jaylen Brown. I think Tatum's contract is coming up at the end of the year. He's definitely going to be over 300 million. I don't know if Boston's going to be able to keep him. Which, another thing I was just going to say, guys, maybe that's the reason why Boston decided to cut bait with some of their defensive players and go get offensive players that can help carry the load. Maybe that's why they went to go get Porzingis, because they're worried about being able to keep Tatum. Who knows? We don't know. We don't know what they're thinking. The nick of time. See, there you go. Jay Ellis just said it. Shout out to you. He says, I'm not trading Brunson for Embiid. You have to pair those two together. Facts. I agree. Let's see here. Jay from PR says, I wouldn't trade Brunson for anyone. We finally have a player that we could count on when it counts. You build around that, not trade that. I agree. I agree. You got to find a way to do it and keep Brunson here. Go get yourself a good player, but you got to keep Brunson around, in my opinion. Let's see. Sherwin says New Orleans has Brandon Ingram and Dyson Daniels. So I know what you're basically trying to say is, because they have Brandon Ingram and Dyson Daniels, you feel like they could be in a position to trade Trey Murphy. I don't think so. I think that because Dyson Daniels hasn't grown into the player that you expect him to yet, they're not willing to take that chance on getting rid of Trey Murphy and keeping Dyson Daniels instead. I also think that because Brandon Ingram can't stay healthy, there's still some concern and reservations there. They know what type of talent he is. He's a monster. He's a beast. No denying it. And if Brandon Ingram was healthy, I could definitely see them trading Trey Murphy. But he's never fully healthy. So it's like you don't want to get rid of him because he's such a good talent, but you don't want to get rid of your insurance policy either. And the other thing, if you said that Trey Murphy's 6'10" now, doesn't that remind you of somebody? Just saying, couldn't he turn into possibly a Brandon Ingram? So if I'm gonna, why would I trade Trey Murphy if he's healthy, young, rookie contract, got the same type of skill set that Brandon Ingram might have? Maybe, it still needs more refining because Brandon Ingram got a filthy handle and that jump shot is smooth. Trey Murphy might be able to get there. We don't know. But I don't know. I just don't know how you could trade Trey Murphy, bro. That's a tough ask. Even though we want him, I don't know how they would let him go. I would call, though. I don't want to be caught, watching somebody else get him, like what happened with Tyrese Halliburton, where nobody thought they were going to trade him, and they did. Shout out to Sacramento for pulling the trigger that no one expected. Anyway, Keith says New Orleans ain't trading BI. Let's get realistic here. Yeah, I agree. They're not. I mean, they might if he gets hurt again, but I don't think they will. Yeah, Zion probably would go before him. Ron Sarmiento's in the building. Salute. What's good, brother? Hope you're doing well. David L says Tibbs would have OG on the bench. I don't think so, bro. OG plays defense, and he definitely gives Tibbs another one of those Tibbs type guys. Remember, Tibbs, I'm not saying OG is Jimmy Butler, but who is the guy the Knicks? Oh man, I'm forgetting. Shoot, I can't. I see his face right now, and I cannot think of who the Knicks had. There was a small forward slash Ronnie Brewer. Remember Ronnie Brewer? That was Tibbs loved Ronnie Brewer, and then the Knicks got him. You know what I mean? But he was a Tibbs type of guy, and not super talented, but a good player. He had great leaping ability. And Tibbs used to love playing Ronnie Brewer. He was not that he started him. At some point, I think he did start, but I think that was because of injury or something. Because I don't remember if Tibbs was still with the Bulls when Jimmy Butler was gone. I don't think so. But yeah. Anyway, Allen says if we get OG, it opens up an opportunity for Grimes to shine as he is very good penetrating passing and he's played point guard. Any watch film on Jalen playing in the USA games. He's killing them driving the rock. I see what you're saying. Hey, Jigga Man Porto's in the building. Salute. How you doing? What's going on, brother? Shout out to Jigga Man, my guy Phil. I hope Phil's doing well. I know he said he was dealing with something personally. I hope everything works out, my brother. Appreciate you and wishing you the best. And also my guy, Project Nerd, aka Hector, from Morning Brew on YouTube. That's the whole Morning Brew network over there. Shout out to all you guys. Please subscribe, show them some love, like, comment, all that good stuff for all the great shows. You know, they keep expanding. You know, they got Yankees Morning Brew, Knicks Morning Brew, Rangers Ice Brew, Jets Evening Brew, Mets Evening Brew, the Rookie Podcast. I don't know. I'm running out of them. They just got everything going on over there. So shout out to them. Keep doing that great work, guys. Appreciate y'all. A-Train says just a feeling, but I think IQ will be traded in a package for a star. Yeah, I think so too. I think it's a possibility that that's going to happen. You know what? Let me do this because I get so caught up on my soapbox. I've been talking for 50 minutes by myself. My bad. My fault, guys. I'm gonna put the link out there just in case somebody wants to jump in. But if not, I'm rocking. You know how it is. Coach Sire is in the building. Salute. What's good, my brother? Hope you're doing well. IQ was a steal in the draft. Listen, I like IQ. Like I said, all I'm saying is he might price himself out, and it's good for him. Like if he's that type of player, he deserves it. Oh, and thank you. Smash that like button too for reminding me. Hit that like button, guys, if you haven't already. Show some love to the show and let the YouTube algorithm know that we are here and we are rocking. It was rumored that the Knicks want to stay around 20 million a year for IQ. Shout out to Jay Ellis for that information. And you know what? I could see that. And that is probably the highest point that I think makes sense. And I think the Knicks probably look at that like maybe we could do that. Because 20 million per year, 4-year deal, that's 80 million. That's right at that point. Like I could see that happening. Some fans might not like that either, but I could see that being realistic for IQ, especially if IQ just continues to do what he's been doing this year, which I expect him to. And I expect this year IQ to be better than he was last year. I think last year was just a bad year for certain guys on this team. I don't expect him to have that same type of year. But it goes back to the fact that they have to learn their roles now. Now they know Jalen Brunson is here, how he plays. They've watched Julius get busy last year. They saw how he plays. At this point, should I say? So they just have to figure out how they fit. And the acquisition of Josh Hart changes things too. So they also know that the minutes aren't as plentiful as they were before. So they got to do more with the amount of minutes they get. I expect IQ to have a better season. I expect RJ to have a better season, and I expect Grimes to have a better season. Mike Boy's in the building. What's going on? Salute. Appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Always, my brother. Always, Jigga. Best of Worst is in the building. Salute. He says we're going to extend IQ and trade him with Fournier at the deadline for OG. Interesting. It could happen. Anything's possible. Okay. All right. So, guys, I think that you already probably have seen or heard of, Julius Randle's interview that he did. Who was it with on the show? Oh, the Shop Uninterrupted. LeBron's show. And on that show, he was talking about how he feels and what's going on with him in basketball. And he says, this is his quote: "Me and my trainer were just talking about this. We were talking about prime years." Randle said on the show, he says, "And I feel like your prime is when your mental and physical kind of meet. And physically, I feel like this is going to be my best year. But mentally, I feel like I've taken a tremendous step because I've had to slow all the way down. I wasn't allowed to train." So he believes that, and obviously we know that Julius Randle's a gym rat. He stays in the gym in the off season. During seasons, when they go to different cities, he goes and tries to find gyms where he can just work out by himself. So he's definitely a gym rat. But he says being forced to just heal and rehabilitate, not work out, and he thinks that that's helped him a lot mentally. Look, I don't know. I mean, maybe it has. All I know is I don't know how much better Julius Randle can be. Can he be more efficient? Maybe. But yeah, easily I think he can be. But as far as the numbers, I don't think he can be that much better numbers-wise. He had some really good numbers last year. So all I expect from Julius Randle is to see if he can match those same type of numbers. Can he give us 24 points per game, 10 rebounds, and maybe 3 or 4 assists, and be a little bit more efficient, but most importantly, be a better defensive player. And once again, goes back to the thing that I always say about Julius. It's not about whether he can do it. He can do it, but he has to want to do it consistently. So that's what we need to see from Julius Randle. Can he go out there and give us that team and individual defense that we expect and need from him on a consistent basis? I think that that's not much to ask. Even if it requires him taking a little bit of a backseat offensively. If we got 22 points per game from Julius Randle, or even 21 instead of 24, and he still gave us around 10 rebounds, still gave us 3 or 4 assists, but played much better defense, would any Knicks fan be mad? Would the Knicks team not benefit from that? And on the whole, I think we'd all be happy with that. I mean, of course, your numbers have to dip a little bit because sometimes you got to take the focus off of offense so much and get back into, doing what you need to do on defense and expending more energy on that side. But I think it's worth it. You tell me right now, 24, 10, and 4 from Julius, and the same type of defense we saw last year, sporadic, not too consistent, or 21, 10, and 3 or 4. And much better defense from Julius Randle. To me, I take the second one easy. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but obviously you're allowed to weigh in. But I just think the 3 points does matter because there's 3 points to average that. That means there's some points where you have explosive games, right? But I think if he played better defense, you don't need to score as much in some of these games. You don't need to be as explosive because you're keeping the other team down a little bit more. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's just how I look at it. Smash that like button. Show your love. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Brooklyn Butch in the building. Salute, salute, salute. What's good? Appreciate you. Shout out to my guy Parrish Duggar in the building. Hope you're doing good, Parrish. Always good to see you. Got to pay IQ more than Josh Hart because he's your rookie. You pay your own guy you raised. Yeah, I mean, that's fair too. But I also think that IQ deserves more than Josh Hart. Just being honest. I just think IQ has a better, more of an ability to have a better all-around NBA game than Josh Hart. So, yeah. Like if Josh Hart makes 18, to me that means that Quickly deserves 20, in my opinion. I think that's fair. Even if you want to, you're playing the prices right. Josh Hart gets 18, Quickly gets 1801. No, I'm just joking about that. But anyway, let's see. Where was I? Okay, here we go. Nick of Time Show JL says, hopefully watching film cuts down his turnovers. His decision making is still very up and down. And that's the other thing too. Like if now that he's watching film for a full off season going into the regular season and he makes that a part of his workout process, I'd love to see the difference in his game. Will it help him to be more efficient? Will he start to see the error of his ways? Like, man, I always tend to do this on defense, or man, I do this every time I'm about to make my turnaround shot. Maybe that's why I'm not as efficient. Or when I get ready to shoot a three, I do this or I do that, and I give the defense time to close in on me. Like, I don't know, whatever it may be, whatever you can take from it. I would love to see what happens with that, and if it can make him a little better player out there. Because it's to me, it's just the craziest thing ever to know that this guy wasn't watching film. It's nuts. Unbelievable. Coach Sire says Randle can learn to move his feet better, become a better team defender. Agreed. Paris Douglas says the 0-1 matters. Are you talking about with the scoring for Julius? Oh no. Oh, I see what you did. I'm sorry. You took it when I did the Price is Right thing. Yeah, 18 and 1801. I got you. My bad. Yeah, thank you, brother. Let's see. Nick Nation says, I would pay IQ if we didn't move JB and we didn't sign Donnie D because his role would be a need. Right now, his role on the team is expendable, not IQ, skills, or talent. The back guards collectively money. Dollars, should I say. I mean, I guess that's true. That's fair. But I think IQ has to, that's why the season is important. IQ has to show that he's not expendable. You know what I mean? He has to show that even though I think Dante DiVincenzo is going to be great for this team, IQ has to show that he's better than Dante DiVincenzo. Yeah, it's not easy, by any means. Dante's been in the league longer than him. And, he's been playing a certain way. He's been on good teams. I think he understands how to play basketball in the NBA. But IQ has to show that he's better than Dante. And I think he can. Yeah, that's wild stuff, David L. I know. I still can't believe that. Bricks Nation says, let's be real. Randle is going to be Randle. Probably. But you never know. Like I said, I don't want to put it past the guy who's working on himself, you know what I mean, to try to be better. And if he is and is committing the effort to do it, all we can do is try to support him and let's see what it turns out to be. I hope for the best, you know, because he's here. We need him to be better, or at least to be as good as he was, but consistent with it. William is in the building. Salute, William, all the way from Brazil. What's good? I hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's good on your family and everything. And the weather is treating you well out there in Brazil. I'm sure it is. He says, "What's good? Looks like better play of RJ in the playoffs were when he was playing more free in that offense as a number 2 option with Brunson. He was very good." That's true. He was. Got to give him credit for that. Let's see. Keith Turner says, "We just paid Josh Hart $75 million, but don't want to pay the 6th man of the year runner-up. Some fans just make me sick." Well, so I'm assuming, Keith Turner, by the fact that you're saying this, you want to pay quickly and take care of him, but do not want to keep Quentin Grimes. Is that what you're saying? Maybe you don't like Quentin Grimes, because that's kind of what I'm feeling from this, because you know that Quickly's contract is up at the end of the year, but then the next year, Grimes' contract is up. So are you saying that you would prefer to get rid of Grimes and just sign Quickly? It's okay if you are. I'm just trying to get some clarity. Brooklyn Butch says, "Ron, did you see RJ and SGA shoot around, aka workout for Team Canada? RJ has definitely grown to at least 6'7", 6'8". What do you think about that?" I mean, you know, maybe he did grow a little bit. I saw the workout. I'm a little up. I like the back and forth. I think that breeds good competition. I don't like the fact that when you're going back and forth, RJ missed a 2-point shot. You know what I mean? Like, knock down the 2 to keep it going, because you got to hit it. If you guys didn't see it, there's a video of RJ and SGA shooting. So you got to go up, shoot a 2, then you step back to the 3-point line and shoot a 3, right? And, you know, they were knocking them down. RJ hit the 2, then hit the 3. Then SGA hit the 2, then hit the 3. Then RJ hit the 2, then the 3. Then SGA hits the 2, then the 3. Then RJ goes again and misses the 2. So it's just like, you know, I want RJ to be able to knock down those 2s. That's what I want him to go into next season, you know, really making that a part of his game. I understand the 3 is important too, but he needs to knock down those 2s. Ashley Inc. is in the building. Salute. What up, Wiz? Hope you're doing well. West Coast is treating you well. Oh, look, there we go. Today's Saturday Salmon Day. He is making his salmon today before he jumps on. Dope. Yeah, Wiz and his salmon. Mike Boy says, "I'm paying the guy we drafted and only trading him in a superstar package. Wake up, guys. No deals will be done with Toronto this offseason." Maybe not. Maybe you're right. Okay. All right. So to kind of wrap up the Julius talk, like I said, I just think Julius needs to come into the year with the same mindset he had last year, because I think he was very positive. I think he was a good teammate. I think he was a much better player for the team, and a much better player for the coaching staff too. He respected them a lot more this past year. I think he just did a much better job. Did he have his same little outburst that he has when he doesn't get the right calls, or he feels like the refs are being a certain way? Yes, but that's Julius. You're going to have to deal with it. But I definitely like the way he came into the year. And if he can do that once again, and also watch video and learn how to assess his game better and use that video to help him, and start playing a little bit more consistent defense, it's all you can ask for. So I think that's what we would hope from Julius. That being said, I think we need to talk about, is RJ Barrett overrated? You know what? It's so interesting I think I'm going to put it up on the screen because that's how interesting it is to me. All right. Is RJ Barrett overrated? I don't know, guys. I don't know. So according they love talking about RJ Barrett. And don't get me wrong, we talk about RJ Barrett, but he's our guy. I think we're allowed to talk about RJ. According to Bleacher Report, RJ Barrett is the second most overrated player in the NBA. That's wild. I mean, I don't even know how you do that. How do you say that? And let me just ask you let me ask you guys something. And apparently he's the second most overrated player behind Dillon Brooks. Apparently Dillon Brooks is the most overrated player in the NBA. So RJ is second. Who comes up with these lists and these statistical categories and stuff that they like and jargon that they like to throw out there? Because are we not always saying that the NBA has screwed RJ, and not NBA, but the media has screwed RJ with some of these lists they create on the ESPNs, the CBSs, and all that stuff? Because correct me if I'm wrong, but a couple years back in RJ's rookie season, which was to me his best season, I'm rookie sophomore season, his second season, to me, which I think was his best season, efficiently, everything together. He wasn't on anybody's list. No rookies list. He didn't make the top rookies in his class. None of that. He was on nobody's list. And he had a really good season. And it was pretty efficient. And he shot 40% from three. Was on nobody's list. All right. Third year, he started to go down a little bit with his play. His efficiency started to waver a little bit. He took a lot more shots and brought his point per game total up to 20, but he was shooting a lot of shots on a low efficiency, on nobody's list. This past year, right? I think he made one list, a top 75 or top 100 or something, and he was towards the end of that list. But how can a guy be overrated when you're not rating him high or not rating him at all? Somebody explain that to me. How do you overrate something when it's not rated? Or you're never looking at it like it's good, you know? Like, how can you say something's overrated? I swear they hate RJ Barrett and they love talking negative about the Knicks. I get it. RJ is not the best and most efficient player out there. He definitely could be better, and he definitely shouldn't be mentioned in the tops of his class with regards to efficiency, or in the tops of young players today with regards to efficiency. He doesn't stack up with the Anthony Edwards of the league and stuff like that. He just doesn't right now. But to say he's overrated when you don't ever rate him, I don't know, guys. Make it make sense for me. I don't get it. I'm dumbfounded. I got the Scooby, the Scoop Moo. I had the Scooby on that one. I was like, what are they talking about? It doesn't make sense to me. It's one thing to not like his game or to say he needs to improve on something, and maybe he shouldn't be looked at as this type of player. But you never look at him like that. You never looked at him that way. So how can he be overrated? I don't know. Didn't get it. It's weird. It's weird. Anyway, let me see what you guys are talking about. And I'm going to get into some more information that they're talking about that you could read, which is interesting. I may even put it. Let me see if I can put it up. Share screen. Yeah. So let's see if we can make this a little bigger. Get rid of that. Get yours 50% off at Petco. All right, so here's these numbers that they got going on here. However, he has yet to fulfill his true potential during his first 4 NBA seasons. Yep. That's we know that. That's not crazy. It's true stuff. Okay, so without free throws, so they're taking out a whole category in which, you know, the past year and a half, RJ has worked on improving on his free throw efficiency. He's getting better at it. Not always the greatest, but he's gotten better at it, and that's what he worked on. But so now you're just going to take the whole category out because it doesn't fit your narrative. Right. So they're going based solely on the fact of his actual scoring points without getting to the free throw line. Now, keep in mind, guys, you guys are Knicks fans. You know how RJ Barrett plays, right? You know he's bully ball. His way, he's very, you know, hell bent on driving to the rim and getting easy layup opportunities or getting to the free throw line. That's part of his game. And they're taking out a whole piece of his game to fit their narrative. Okay. All right. Whatever. Says Barrett has scored 3,958 points on 4,157 shot attempts, or 503.4 fewer than league average shooters would have. I mean, if you look at it like that, yeah, that's not good. That's a fair. The only player further below zero during his career is Russell Westbrook. When you say something like that, that's a slap in the face to RJ Barrett big time. They definitely knew what they were doing when they crafted this article. And he says, who is obviously doing a lot more as a passer and a rebounder than Barrett. That's fair, which is true. I don't know how he is on the defensive end. I think he plays the defense is just as bad as RJ's, but whatever. Okay. Regarding that plus minus impact, the Knicks are a minus 1.9 points per 100 possessions with RJ Barrett on the floor over his 4 seasons, compared to plus minus 3.9 without him. Yes, so for all you RJ Barrett haters out there, they are basically telling you that the Knicks play better when RJ is not on the floor. So there you go, Knicks haters out there who wanted to hear that. Yeah, there you go. That's your moment. You got it. You got it. There you go. You got it. Oh, man. Anyway. So let me see. Is there more? Is there more great news about RJ? Let me see. Yeah. As I told you, only Houston Rockets with Dylan Brooks was named more overrated than RJ. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. You guys got the idea. That's pretty much it. So yeah. What do you guys think? What's your thoughts on RJ? And shout out to the people here. Please smash that like button. Shout out to Facebook for watching and viewing with us. I mean, Facebook and YouTube both for watching and viewing. So thank you guys. Brooklyn Butch says, Ron, how could RJ be overrated? He gets no recognition for anything. He made 0 lists. The Bleacher Report person just wanted some clip. See, Brooklyn Butch, I mean, I guess, you know, you was already typing it while I was saying it. It's exactly the case. That's like, I don't understand it myself. Jay Ellis says Bleacher is bugging. No one outside of the Knicks fans even talk about RJ like that. I don't, you know, listen, I don't know. I don't know how it's fair to even say this stuff. It's crazy to me. Outlaw Comedian says, and shout out to you. Thank you for tuning in and being in the chat. He says, facts, these lists are overrated. I don't know what's going on, man. It's crazy. They hate RJ for some reason. He's a quiet guy. He don't make too many waves. He don't do anything personal. He doesn't give you bad media sound bites. He doesn't go to clubs partying. He's a good guy, yet they love to talk negatively about him. And don't get me wrong, he deserves some negative talk. Like some of his play is just not good. It doesn't necessarily look that great, but to say he's overrated, I don't know how you can say someone's overrated when you don't rate the guy. It just makes no sense to me. Our Knicks Nation says RJ is not great at anything yet. When he played well in the playoffs, he raised our team to the second round. He definitely played well in the playoffs. Fair. Juan B, what's good? Salute to you. Thank you for being here in the chat. He says Knicks fans overrate him. That's why he's overrated. All those shot attempts, all you hear is he averages 20. That's it. Yeah, but I don't think he gets. In the past, Juan B, I think maybe Knicks fans, we fell in love with RJ. Might have been a little overrated the first 2 years. But I think these last 2 years, I don't think Knicks fans have been overrating him. I think we've been kind of calling it as we see it. And then last year, he definitely was not getting the love from Knicks fans. They were calling him out on everything negative he was doing. So I think it was that way. I don't think it's that way as much anymore. There's still some RJ stands that are like, come on, man. You don't give up on a 22-year-old kid. And I get that. And I don't want to give up on him either. He's still my favorite player on the team. I know, even though he's got a lot to improve on. But yeah, it's some stuff. No other fan. Keith Turner says no other fans outside the Knicks fan base even talk about RJ in a good way. That is true too. That is fair. Fans don't talk about RJ in a good light. I saw some YouTube channel or whatever. They was talking about RJ Barrett and they were killing RJ. And then I know some young people, some players that play AAU, they talk about RJ Barrett like he is not the dude. So that tattoo that says I'm him, they're not rocking with that. So I understand it. I get it. But it's like the problem with RJ is that he really needs to understand his game and take his game to the most efficient level it could be under those circumstances. Don't keep falling in love with today's NBA. You are not really a three-point shooter. You don't have to be. You can be a two-point shooter. If RJ just focused on that mid-range game and get into the basket, get into the free throw line, he could still average 20-plus points per game and be very efficient doing it. And then have people like, yo, RJ's a bucket. I don't care what you say, yo. You see his numbers? 45, 46% from the field. You know what I mean? 35, 36% from the three because he won't take as many threes. And then free throw, like 80% from the free throw line. If he can get those type of numbers, they'll be like, yo, RJ's a bucket. That's what RJ needs to get to, man. Ken says last season, Barrett had the Knicks' worst defensive rating. That's fair. It's real. I mean, that's fair. Jay Ellis said Knicks for clicks. Yeah, there's a lot of that. I don't know, Keith. So basically, you answered my question. You don't like Grimes, because I was asking if you wanted to keep IQ and get rid of Grimes, and I can tell you don't like Grimes. But you can't say Grimes is overrated either, because Grimes ain't on anybody's list either. Well, he is on the defensive list for young players, so he is there. But I don't know how you could say he's overrated when we read his stats. Does he miss some big shots? Yeah. Would you like to see him to be more consistent? Because with Grimes, the difference is he has good games and he has bad games. RJ has bad games and bad moments. So throughout the games, it brings his efficiency down. When Grimes is on, his efficiency is through the roof in some of those games. Like when he's on, he's gone. And so that's the difference with Grimes. And so it looks like Grimes is not that great of a player sometimes. I'm not great. You know what I mean? Not that good of a player offensively. But I'll tell you one thing. Grimes, those numbers surprised me. 80% from the free throw line, 46 or 47% from the field, 38% from three, 39, almost 39% from three. Those are good numbers. So, but he does need to continue to work and build on what he's got going on. Let's see what else we got here. Knicks Nation 112 says RJ was given the ball to become the number one in all his 4 years, but yet he finds success. Are you saying wasn't given the ball? Is that what you're saying? Maybe that's what you're saying. Yeah, he still finds some success throughout it. But like I said, efficiency-wise, he just hasn't clicked the way you'd want him to. No, Keith, I'm not gonna let you get away with that. No, I think that's crazy. There's no way. Like Frank Ntilikina can't hold Grimes' sneakers after practice. No way. Never. Nope. Grimes is a much better player than Frank Ntilikina. Frank Ntilikina was a bust. The Knicks made a mistake with that. Thank you to Phil Jackson for that pick when we could have had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't want to keep going. Come on, Phil. Wait, was it Shai Gilgeous or Donovan? I forget which one we could have had that year, but it doesn't matter. Either one of them. Yeah, no, I can't. Grimes is way better than Frank Ntilikina, bro. I can't let you do that one. I know you're trying to prove a point, but come on, man. Grimes is way better than Frank Ntilikina. And he's going to be better. Look, the whole thing is, as a Knicks fan, don't you want your team to improve? Don't you want your team to be better? Don't you want these young players that people were saying we need to build through the youth and get these guys going? Don't you want them to be better? So wouldn't you want Grimes to have a good season this year, or you don't want him to succeed? You want the Knicks to continue to be lost and not know what the hell they're doing. I want him to succeed. I want all these guys to play well. But I think Grimes will play better this year. I think you're going to see it. And you may not like it, because let me tell you, the better Grimes plays, that means Quickly better be playing just as good. Or there's going to be an issue and Quickly going to go bye-bye. I'm not saying he should. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen, because you get another year of control with Grimes at the cheaper rate, So you never know. The Knicks have not shown that they can be cutthroat yet with business, but because they usually pay guys, but you don't know. The only thing you might say is cutthroat is Obi, because people are surprised that he got traded, but I'm not really that surprised. Paris Douglas says RJ and Randle are number chasers. That's why they are frowned upon nationally. That won't change until they stop being inept in big time situations like Game 6. That's fair. That's a good point, Parrish. People do look at them like that. I mean, their numbers are not well respected. And it's only for Julius, it's not as fair because he puts these numbers up every year. But if he had just had a good playoff showing, he would be looked at so differently. But because now he's got 2 bad playoff showings, people just look at him like he ain't the truth. He ain't the real deal. He nicknames them the Paper Tigers. Come on, Parrish. Yes, thank you. That's exactly what I'm saying, Mike Boy. You see, that's been my narrative for the past 2 weeks. He says, my takeaway from this live is that RJ, Grimes, and IQ really need to play even better next season. I agree. I definitely agree. They do. And I think for RJ, I said it last week, it's a make or break season for RJ. I think if RJ doesn't play better this year, I think he won't be a Knick after this year. I think this will be his last year as a Knick. That's my opinion. I mean, I'm not saying it'll be easy. Maybe they won't be able to move him, but I think they will want to move him. And then IQ, in essence, it's the contract year for him, so I expect him to play great. And Grimes, I just think that Grimes has been putting in that work. And the only issue that I see with Grimes is I feel like when something's new to him, it takes him a little while to adjust, and he needs to get that comfort level. But once he's experienced it, I think he becomes a better player. So I think Grimes is going to be, remember, that was his first playoffs, getting significant time. I think Grimes is going to be a lot better this year. I think he's much more comfortable. So, and plus he's got a chip on his shoulder because he played so horribly in the playoffs. He needs to step up. So I could definitely see him playing better. Let's see. Whoa, what else we got here? Ken says it is not the first time Barrett has been overlooked. During his first year, Barrett was snubbed for the all-rookie teams and ESPN's top 25 under 25 rankings. True. That's fair. That is true. Best of the worst says RJ is constantly being disrespected, left off rookie teams. Best 25. Yep. Kind of names like Bron, Kobe for points, rebounds, assists by his age. Yeah, he was stacking up at that point. IQJ is in the building. Salute. What's good? Appreciate you. He says RJ is a good player and still very young, more than capable of improving. Yeah, he definitely still has time to improve, but the clock is ticking. It's on him. He needs to do it now. Sherwin says Barrett did not have the worst defensive rating last season. Obi had the worst defensive rating on the team last season. Okay. I mean, I think Obi played better down the stretch defensively and in the playoffs, but you might be right. IQJ says RJ is a good guy, averages 20 points per game, 5 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists. If he can be efficient, then all this talk would go all away. Yes, all go away. Yes, I agree. It would go. He just has to be more efficient and play a little better defense. Don't get cooked out there. That's the problem, guys. Keith Turner he's exaggerating a little bit, slightly, but it's true. He's right. RJ shoots 50 bricks to get 20 points. He can take them 20 points someplace else. He shoots a lot of shots to get those 20 points per game or 19 points per game that he averaged this year. Or maybe it was 18. I think it was 18 or 19, but whatever. 18.1 maybe. He took a lot of shots to get those. And then I think last year he took even more shots to get that 20 point per game mark for the season. That doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Yeah, I know I'm right. Best of the worst says RJ is elite at getting to the rim. If he improves his finishing and gets some respect from the refs, he will be a problem. Yeah, I definitely think he needs to do a lot more of that. Very few, IQJ says, very few guys in name scoring high volume buckets at efficient rates. Yeah, I mean, there's other guys who aren't efficient either. But, it's a happy balance, right? Maybe I'm not as efficient offensively with my numbers, but I scored this amount of points, but I rebound the ball higher than this player, or I get more assists than this player, and I play better defense than this player. You got to understand, it's not just about RJ's efficiency offensively. It's also about his defense and his ability to help out with those ancillary stats, as I like to say, because his ancillary stat stuff has gone down a little bit with the emergence of Quickly, because Quickly is a good rebounder himself for his height. He gets, assist when needed. Josh Hart is a really good rebounder, no question about it, and he gets assists. Now you're bringing in Dante DiVincenzo, who's a good rebounder and can get assists. So all these people, when they're out there on the floor, if RJ's with them, you're talking about guys that can do this stuff that are taken away from RJ being able to do it. Like, people don't complain if a shot goes up and the Knicks get the rebound, but what you don't think about is, was RJ in line to get the rebound and Josh Hart came and swooped up because he was more aggressive to it, or Dante DiVincenzo grabs it because he's more aggressive to it, or in the right spot at the right, you know what I mean? Like that takes away from, if RJ was there and had the, he would have the opportunity, he would probably get the rebound. But we have better rebounding guards on this team now, which takes away from his rebounding. Angel Torres is in the building. Salute, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody's good on your end. All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much it with RJ. I don't know. I don't know. I can't see the whole RJ being overrated thing. I just don't think it was a fair article. I get what they were trying to do, but I don't rock with it. So much for that. But he does need to improve and be a better player, because right now he doesn't look like he is a respected number 3 pick in the draft. At least not at this point. And then lastly, that's right, folks. Lastly, we got one last thing to talk about. It's an abbreviated show. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to milk it. There's not a lot going on, right? And plus, I'm up here holding it down. Is Quentin Grimes the most valuable young player on the Knicks? Is he? But is he? I don't know. That's the question that I'm asking. What do you guys think? You have your reasons that I'm definitely willing to hear and see where we go with it. Because I'm curious what you guys think. Really, I think the comparison only lies between two people right now, because Obi's gone, right? And Deuce McBride doesn't get enough minutes to be considered in this conversation. Jericho Sims, obviously you can't consider him in this conversation. Mitchell Robinson is not considered in this conversation because I think he's part of the little bit of the older class, right? Like he's still part of the youth, but he's a little older. Him and RJ are a little older. But you could even throw RJ in this mix. I don't know. I mean, but I wouldn't. I'm not putting Mitchell in it. If you want to throw RJ in it, that's fine. I'm not putting Mitchell in it just because I feel like Mitchell is, he's a center. This is 5th year. Even though it's RJ's 5th year too, but if you want to throw RJ in it, I wouldn't be mad at the idea. But is Quentin Grimes, the most valuable young player on the Knicks? What do you guys think? Well, this is a shocker. Keith Turner says, hell nah. I am shocked. Oh man. Lion of Judah says, the problem that I see is so-called fans always cutting down our Knicks players. Why do the chat come on the Knicks channel to hate every single player? Shake my head and find yourself a new team if you don't like these Knicks here. Oh, he didn't say all that. Sorry, I added a little extra for impact. The acquisition of Hart and DiVincenzo have devalued Grimes. Okay. Grimes is older than RJ. Yep, that's true. That's fair. But I'm not going by that. I'm going by basically time played. Like the only reason why I don't want to include, because you can include Mitchell Robinson in it too. The only reason why I'm not is just because of the fact that I feel like, all these guys are guards for the most part. And Mitchell plays just a different position. So I kind of don't want to look at him the same way with them. But he is a part of the young class, and when you really think about it. Delano Steele Jr. in the building. Salute. What's good, my brother? Hope you're doing well, as always. Keith Turner says, first of all, we don't hate every player you see us talking about. Julius Randle or Brunson, I would gladly leave. I ain't winning anything here. Hey, come on, Keith. You know you're a Knicks fan. You can't go nowhere. And as much as the one thing I know about Knicks fans, as well as fans of a lot of teams, when it comes to their team, they're going to talk their stuff. They're going to be mad. There's certain fans that are never happy. But when it comes time to watch the game, they're going to be there watching and rooting for their team because they not only, fans of the team, but they're fans of the sport. They want to see, this is what you do with your life. That's why you invested. Imagine if every night when the Knicks game comes on at 7:00 or whatever, you just don't turn the Knicks game on. You're just sitting there in your living room, sipping a beer or something and just staring at the wall. Yeah, I'm not watching the Knicks no more. What are you going to do? I don't know. Come on, Keith. No. No. Don't do it. Yeah. So, anyway, so back to what I was saying. What's your thoughts? And let me, I'm going to pull up. I really should do the comparison thing, but I don't like how the comparison stuff, how they put this. They compare the wrong stuff, which is not what I want to see. So, yeah. I wonder if they have that here on ESPN. I don't think they do. Yeah, I'm not sure they do. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, so let's compare these. I think I'm just going to say let's compare these two because as much as we want to say we like RJ Barrett, right now, when it just comes to efficiency and statistical output on both offense and defense, he's not better than Grimes or Quickly at the moment. If he played defense, then that's a different story. But he don't play the same type of defense that these guys play. So let's take a look at this. Take a look at Quickly first. All right. Can I blow that up a little bit? Let's see. All right. So we're looking at the 2000. I'm going to go based off of the most current year. All right. So, and look at Emmanuel Quickly. Played 81 games. All right. He started 21 games. He played 28.9 minutes per game. And that's only starting 21. So going back to the whole thing, starting doesn't necessarily matter as long as you're out there on the court. So 28.9 minutes per game, right? 44. Let's just round these numbers off. 45% from the field, 37% from three, 82% from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1 steal per game. All right. And he averaged 15 points per game. All right. Because we're rounding 15 points per game. All right. So take a look at that. That's what IQ did for us this past year. Now let's look at Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes averaged Well, he played 71 games. He started 66 of them. He averaged 30 minutes per game. So he played a little bit more than Quickly. He averaged 47% from the field, 39% from three, 80% from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, half a steal, and averaged 11 points per game. Okay. So, I mean, that's the comparison. When you look at them in this rate, Quickly looks like the better young player. However, field goal attempts, you see that points, Quickly averaging 15, but he was somewhere between 5.2 to 11.6 field goal attempts per game. Quentin Grimes was between 4 and 8.5 field goal attempts per game. So he took almost 3 to 4 less attempts. So if he took those 4 attempts, and maybe 2 of those attempts were 3-point shots, couldn't this 11 points per game have gone up? Couldn't he be closer and similar to Manuel Quickly's numbers of 14 or 15 points per game? Just the way to look at it. You got to look at all the features and the characteristics. Now, the one thing I will say that Quickly has hands down over Grimes at the moment is that he consistently is a better free throw shooter. Like Grimes, you know, he shot 68% last year, 80% this year, which is a great increase. He improved. He worked on certain things to correct that because he should be a better free throw shooter. But Quickly, I mean, he shot 90% basically one year, 88% the next year, and then he shot 82% last year, which is his worst. But he's a really good free throw shooter. So, yeah, Quickly's got that over him. Who is the better defender, Quickly or Grimes? Well, I'm going to I don't know if this is going to tell the whole story. Defensive rating. Manuel Quickly. So Emmanuel Quickly's defensive rating is how do I do this? I don't think I should go by his career. Manuel Quickly's defensive rating for his career is 113.4. But most importantly, last year's defensive rating was 115.4, right? In 81 games. And you know what? Let me stop sharing this. Oh, shoot. I don't think I shared you guys when I was looking at Quentin. Let me, I'll put that up just so you guys can see it yourselves as well. Crap. I thought I did that. That was my bad. Sorry about that. My apologies. So this was Quentin Grimes' numbers that I was just looking at. And as you can see, I told you he had 4 to 8.5 field goal attempts, which was less than the 5.2 to 11.6 that Quickly had. So, yeah, but as you can see, those are Grimes' numbers for 2022-23. You know, surprisingly pretty efficient. I know sometimes it didn't look like it, but as you can see, the numbers don't lie. He was actually pretty efficient. I was surprised when I first saw this. So, all right, now getting off of that, let me go back to the defensive stuff. So this is Quickly's defensive rating stuff. Right, as I told you, he's averages 113.4 defensive rating for his career, and last year in 81 games, he was 115.4. Okay, if we're just basing this solely off of defensive rating, and I'm gonna keep it here and just change it to Grimes and see how that looks. 115.4. Okay, so for Grimes' career, his defensive rating is 115.7. That's 2 years worth of play. And last year's defensive rating was 117.3. So Grimes is the better defensive player. You guys can all see that. So once again, what do you guys think? Who is is Quentin Grimes the most valuable young player on the Knicks? Guys, let me know how you feel about it. Because I'm definitely curious to hear what you guys are thinking. I think if it's not Grimes, then maybe you could say it's a wash, but you know, oh. Let's see what people are saying. Okay. Where am I got? Okay. Animal Lex says Grimes is better than what we're seeing. He's got Brunson, Randle, and RJ in front of him. I agree with that too. But so does IQ. Oh, and let me just say, this is the reason why I think that this is why I know we got Dante DiVincenzo now. I know Josh Hart is here. This is why I think Grimes has to start, guys, because Grimes benefits from playing out there with Brunson, Randle, if RJ's out there as well, and Mitchell Robinson. Whereas you put Josh Hart in that mix, I don't think he's as effective as what he can do with that second unit, because he can really go to town out there with that second unit. And that's the same thing I think with DiVincenzo. I know some people think that DiVincenzo may start over Grimes, but I don't see it being the best move for the Knicks to start the season. I think they need to start with the same lineup they did last year, because Grimes fits in that pocket. Part of the reason why we won 47 games is because of that starting lineup and how it came together. Once you saw them putting Grimes back in the second unit for the playoffs, we saw how it didn't work out the way. I mean, he had a horrible playoffs regardless, so it didn't matter if he was starting or not. But the inserting Josh Hart into the starting lineup didn't make much of a difference. I just think it benefits Grimes more. Jay from PR says, if Grimes levels up, we are going to be a real problem. It's a big if. Yes, I hear you. Mike Boy says fan, short for fanatic. I hear you. Delano Steele Jr. says Grimes could be the best young player on the Knicks. So could Emmanuel Quickly. That's true. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll see their best attributes in a Tom Thibodeau system. I hear you. I hear you. Sherwin says Keith Turner, Paris. Oh, okay. I'm not reading that. You guys are going back and forth. It is what it is. Jay from PR says both with above average defense. Not bad. Jay from PR says Grimes took less shots on more minutes. Right. Well, one more minute. I mean, I guess. But the less shots part is what intrigues me, because I think giving a player 4 more shots, especially a player that shoots the 3 ball. I mean, you hit half of those shots, 50% of the shots. You're already giving yourself 6 points, right? Even if you hit 1 shot, he averaged 11 points per game. If he hits 1 shot, 1 out of those 4, and it's a 3-pointer, that jumps 11 to 14. So then he's averaging 14 points per game. You know what I mean? So I think it matters. Sherwin says Grimes guards the best offensive player. Right. That is true. Quickly doesn't usually guard the best offensive player. He has here and there in a moment, but Grimes usually does get that assignment. That's fair. Walter Blackman says, yes, Grimes is the MVP of the young guys. Jay from PR, I give the nod to Grimes. Shows Grimes on defense because of the size and strength. Delano Steele. No, I think he's asking, did anybody mention Obi Toppin during this live stream? Yeah. I don't know. Did we? Yes, maybe he was brought up in passing. That's what's happening now. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. Jay from PR says if Grimes had IQ's mentality, he would be a sure shot. I can agree with that too, because IQ is a monster when it comes to his mind. He's fearless. He's not, starstruck or the moment's not too big for him. I still think Grimes has a little bit of uncertainty in his game. Mentally, sometimes he's not as confident as he should be, because he definitely has the skill set and the ability. If he did have Grimes' mentality, I mean, if IQ gave Grimes the mentality that he has, I think Grimes would definitely be a better player. But it can come in time. Mike Boy says IQ is better and underrated defensively. All right, he may be underrated defensively, but it does go to the fact that here's the biggest key, which was already said, is that Grimes is usually guarding the best player. That is undeniable. That is usually the case. And then Josh Hart picks him up when Grimes isn't on him. And sometimes RJ gets him too. But that's how it's been. Walter Blackman says Grimes working out with JJ Redick will pay off this offseason. I agree. I think it will. Pay off this season, should I say. I think it will. I agree with you on that. Wait. Best of worst. Wait, did I read it wrong? Best of worst says defensive rating is better with the lower number. IQ was better defended, but to be fair, Grimes was being put on the best offensive guards every day. Oh, okay. I'm sorry if I read that wrong. If it's the backwards for defensive. Yeah. Lower. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's right. That's correct. But that's what it is. It goes to the point where, yeah, Grimes was higher defensive rating, but he was guarding the stiffer competition. Yeah, okay. Yeah. My bad about that, guys. Yeah, you're right. It's reverse. So Sherwin says you have to look at more than defensive rating. I know. That's why I said I'm only looking at the rating, but I agree. Like there's certain things, and then you got to look at, points per game against and all that stuff, and then how he stacks up at his position throughout the league. Like I know that's a whole other show. Keith Turner says JJ Redick wasn't that good of a basketball player. He was a journeyman that traveled from team to team. That's fair, but defensively, maybe he wasn't that great, and his skill set offensively wasn't incredible, right? But as far as understanding the game, a lot of coaches never played the game, right? But he actually played the game, understanding the game and the X's and O's. He might have a really good idea about how to play the basketball game at a high level. He may not be able to execute like other guys, but he doesn't stop him from knowing how to play. And he's got a great pedigree coming from Duke and really paying attention to what Mike Krzyzewski was teaching over there. Doesn't hurt. And so, just so you know, for JJ Redick's career, he averaged 12 points per game. If we want to do rounding, he averaged 13 points per game. He shot 90% from the free throw line. He shot 41.5 from three, and he shot 44.7 from the field goals. And he averaged 25 minutes per game. And really, his numbers are probably a little higher because his last year with the Pelicans in Dallas, he played like 44 games, and I mean he had low numbers, right? So he was on his way out. Even though with the Pelicans in 31 games, he shot 95% from the free throw line. I mean, jeez, it's crazy. Yeah, but he had moments where he averaged 15, 15, 16, 16, 15, 17, 18, 15. And then that last year, 2020, 2021 was the bad year for him. And that was pretty much the end of his career. That was his last year. But prior to that last year, he averaged 15 points per game, 89% from the free throw line, 45% from three, 45% from the field. So he was, he did what he did for his team, and it was what it was. I hear you though. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Jay Boogie. Thank you for the generous contribution, my brother. I appreciate you as always. Salute, salute, salute with the 3 capital S's. He says this is going to be Grimes' breakout year. Trust. I think you're right, man. I think you're right. I can see it. And Ashley Inc. What up, Wiz says RJ is not overrated, but he has underperformed. I agree. That's how I would look at it. He's not overrated, but he has underperformed. That's perfect, Wiz. Perfect way of viewing RJ Barrett. Duke players don't do well in the NBA. We need to stop drafting them. I think Duke's program might be a little overrated, but I wouldn't say that they don't do well in the NBA. It's just they're held to such a high level that it seems like you assume like all these guys are going to be stars or can't miss type guys, and it's not really true. It's not fair. But they've had some gems. Kyrie Irving is a Duke player. Grant Hill is a Duke player. There's been players. Bobby Hurley would have been a really good player in the NBA if he didn't get hurt. Um, uh, who's the guy that Jay Williams would have been a really good player in the NBA if he didn't get hurt in that motorcycle accident. He was a baller. There's been really good Duke players, and Zion is a really good player that just can't stay healthy, but he can play. There's guys, you know. There you go. Well, see, JJ, that's my distinction right there. Knick fans say RJ has improved every year, but he's regressed since year 2. I I say that every chance I get. I think RJ can improve, but he hasn't shown it. And if we're being honest with ourselves, every year he's gotten worse since his second year. Second year was his best year in the NBA. He's gotten worse since then, defensively and efficiency wise. Even if he scores more points, doesn't matter. It's different now. Um, oh yeah, and Jason Tatum. I almost forgot about him. Thank you, best of the worst. He's another one. Yeah, the Duke has had good guys, man. Duke has had good guys. Was Brandon Ingram from Duke too? I I honestly don't remember Brandon Ingram that much in college, so he might escape me. And I was a Duke fan, but I'm being honest. I didn't watch every Duke game every year, so I forgot about Brandon Ingram if he went to Duke. Marcus Robinson is in the building. He says, "Face orange, frowning." Salute to you, man. Appreciate you. Ribby's in the building. Salute. What's good, Ribby? How you doing, brother? Hope everything's good with you. Shout out to Kevin Middleton. I'm appreciate you. Um, all right. I think I think that was everybody who was saying something. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, listen, I appreciate your time today. This is a little bit of more of an abbreviated show, which is crazy. I did 2 hours, yet it's an abbreviated show. But, there's not a whole bunch of stuff that I want to continue to talk about and regurgitate. There's other fellow content creators that we all like and respect and watch their shows, and they've done a great job of covering certain things with regards to our Knicks. And I don't want to continue to say the same thing that they're saying. I tried to do something a little different here and there. We might talk over the same points, but for the most part, I try to make it a little different. And I don't want to, like, continue to just beat the dead horse with the same things over and over and over either. So I appreciate you guys. Allah Wise in the building. Salute. You just joined when I'm getting out. But hey, man, smash that like button and watch the replay. I think we talked about some interesting Nick related stuff today as best we could. Also, I want to tell you guys, please do support everything we've got going on here at Still Nick Fans and NBK for Nothing But Knicks. It definitely helps us out. It definitely helps out NBK and Simeon Russell's channel. We appreciate the love and support that you guys show us all. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody on the NBK community, whether that be the Queen Steph, Tony Crow, International Andy, Josh, aka Uncle Fulio, and obviously Simeon Russell himself, and whoever else may participate as a part of NBK who doesn't have a show. Appreciate them as well. Yeah, man, just thank you for supporting everything we got going on. And let me see. Oh, okay, here we go. So Brandon Ingram, yeah, right. Elton Brand, right. Shane Battier, Corey Maggette. Well, you took it back. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, there's been some good players like Grant Hill, Elton Brand, Shane Battier, Brandon Ingrams, Corey Maggette, Jason Tatum, Zion. I'll throw in there too because when he's out there in the court, he's a good player. Kyrie Irving. And of course, like I said, I mentioned Jay Williams was a really good college player and would have had a nice career with the Bulls or whoever else he would have stood with had he not got into that dumb motorcycle accident. And Bobby Hurley too, who was in a car accident and he was never the same after that. And then he got into coaching, and he's been a pretty good coach for his career, as well as his brother Dan Hurley too. Yeah, but there's been some decent players and some good ones too. So, all right. Well, as I always say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still Nick fans, we'll be back again, whether it be on Saturdays at 11-ish for the Know the Ledge show, Monday nights for SKF Weekly, with your boys Ron and John, or your mans. Appreciate you. That's Monday nights at 9 p.m. for SKF Weekly, or Thursday nights at 8:30 p.m. for the NBA wrap-up on NBK, Nothing But Knicks. Please tune in and show your love this Thursday. Hopefully, we'll have a special guest like we tried to do this past Thursday, but scheduling and time didn't permit, and so it didn't work out the way we wanted to. But by all means, please look at this last Thursday's show on NBK and take a look at the new show. We hope to continue to make it better. There's still some things we want to, outside of the guest and getting into hip hop and all that stuff, we still want to add a couple segments to the show, but it's just taking a little time to put those together. But once we get it right, hopefully you'll be able to enjoy it. And Jay from PR, no, Booker did. I don't think, no, from my knowledge, Booker did not play at Duke. And Tyler Hero definitely didn't. Tyler Hero went to Kentucky. He was actually teammates with Quickly. Okay. All right. So yeah, man. I think that's it for the show. Thank you guys once again. I appreciate you all. Smash that like button on your way out if you can. If it doesn't do you any harm, I appreciate y'all. Continue to support, still Knick fans as well as NBK and the rest of the shows in the New York Knick community. We got a lot of great content creators. And also, once again, to the content creators out there, just be careful and mindful with your social medias and your YouTube accounts. They can get hacked, and there's not really much we can do about it. Like, obviously it happened to Jay Ellis and the Nick of Time show. He was able to get his channel back, which I'm happy for him. But even with two-party authentication, they still got through. So it is what it is, man. What are you gonna do? So salute to you guys. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Enjoy yourselves. Do something fun, or at least just take the time if you're not working, take a break and relax for the weekend till you get back to that Monday grind. And for those that are working, make the best of it. Take it easy. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.